Hello, hello. It is I, Professor Paradox, or Rave Man of the Druid's Paradox. I hope everyone is having a nice day today, and we're going to be trying out this new game. Um, well, it's not really new. It's new to me. I haven't I haven't seen any sort of talk about this game. Um, Apparently my Discord is acting up. That's cool. Let's see. I think that's all of them. Let's begin. Why is there no audio? Why is there no audio? Oh, There's just no audio on the main menu? There should be audio here, right? I'm just gonna restart the game. Uh, there should be audio there. I'm pretty sure. That's weird. Why is there no audio? Dialogue and all that's there. Gameplay, or graphics, gameplay. Subtitles are on. This works.
Harbinger. Your presence is the sign of the darkest of times. Vera. Our protector from the void. Her soul has vanished. Her connection with the world beyond ours shattered. Unaware of the impending doom, they fight a war that's already lost. Blinded. The hungry beast is growing. Only Vera can put an end to it. The eyes and the sword of the Tree of Life. You must find her soul. The fate of Euralia rests upon you. Today might be the end of the world.
Well, some technical difficulties. I'm going to verify the game cache real quick. I don't know why it's doing this. One moment. Because for some reason on the main menu and uh the beginning cutscene for the main game just doesn't have audio, and I don't know why. All files successfully validated. Why? Why is there? Once upon a time, the infamous rover Reynardo plundered the floating isles. Then his mother called him to her deathbed. "Swear to me that you won't die on the gallows," she rasped. Reluctantly he swore, and willed away his days at home with music, cards, and wine. But the emperor had changed. He'd been good once, a shy, almost humble toad. He'd built universities. I'm not. Sorry, I had something in my throat. The ravens had come to Ubar, scouting for ancient books said to be of great power, but the librarians had hidden the books, so they'd burned the librarians. What? The ravens had come back with dropships. The kid had fled with one of the books, and Reynardo promised his mother he'd protect him. Is the game going to have audio? The kid was looking down, watching his city burn. Sorry, kid. Reynardo told the kid, "Look, if we give him the book, they'll spare us. Promise to protect you, damn it." No, there's just no audio whatsoever. Let me try something real quick. Um, hmm. Maybe I should have tested this game before. Let me try restarting again. Um, I don't I don't know. Yeah, there's no audio whatsoever when launching it. I don't get why. I actually wanted to play this game, and I don't know why it's not working. Happens pretty frequently and only with this game. No sound when starting up. Sometimes get sound after several restarts. This was posted in 2019. There's no way it's playing through that because it's not popping up on here. I'll try that. Doesn't seem like it's right, but I'll try it. Try that now. People said it might be where it's using the Rift headset for the audio. It was! Okay. That's stupid. That's really, really stupid. My Rift audio doesn't even work. I want to start a new game just so we have the audio.
Once upon a time, the infamous rover Reynardo plundered the floating isles. Then his mother called him to her deathbed. "Swear to me that you won't die on the gallows," she rasped. Reluctantly, he swore. And he whiled away his days at home with music, cards, and wine. But the Emperor had changed. He'd been good once, a shy, almost humble toad. He'd built universities. But then people started whispering about mass graves in the woods, midnight rituals, victims screaming. The Imperial Ravens would round up entire villages, and no one ever returned. The Ravens had come to Ubar scouting for ancient books said to be of great power. But the librarians had hidden the books, so they'd burnt the librarians. The citizens, outraged, had driven them off. The Ravens had come back with dropships. The kid had fled with one of those books. He was brave and dumb and wanted to join the rebellion, and Reynardo had promised his mother he'd protect him. The kid was looking down, watching his city burn. Sorry, kid, Reynardo told the kid. Look, if we give them the book, they'll leave you alone. My mother died for this book! I promised her I'd protect you. Oh, damn it. The kid had run off. With the book, of course. So Reynardo had to run after him.
The only thing I have right now to use is the attack button.
The two ravens were staring at the kid like he was their dinner.
Why are they
probably
buff?
Was what was in their tiny brains. Hey, Reynardo said. They cocked their heads at him. Pick on someone as ugly as you. Wait, that didn't come out right. For the Emperor! The ravens cawed and rushed at him.
Interesting. And this is a game that has choices matter as one of the tags.
A dropship flew overhead. He hoped they hadn't noticed him. The kid.
Okay, I like that.
Oh, right. The Gate of Heroes. Someone's idea of a joke, making the Skyship Docks a gated community. You needed a hero's sword to open it. And the kid was on the other side of the gate. Who let you through? Promise me you'll take the book to the rebels, or I'm gonna steal your ship. I'm not taking that damn book anywhere, and neither are you. Try and stop me, laughed the kid. I bet you don't even have a hero sword. And with that, the kid hopped away. Had to hand it to the kid. He was an idiot, but he had guts. Where was Reynardo going to get a hero sword? We could forge a hero sword here, but I'm going to need ore.
Look badass.
I hope nobody minds if I use this stuff.
Interesting.
A hero sword. QED.
I don't have enough ore to upgrade it, but cool.
This is what he got for settling down and finding people to care about. The kid's mum had been a swell cook, and she'd laughed at Reynardo's jokes, even when he didn't know he'd made one. And then the ravens had come to burn her. And she'd made him promise to protect the kid. But she never told him where the book was. Just the kid. He came up to a ledge. It was too far to jump. There'd been a bridge here before, hadn't there? And there was Peter, giggling at him. How'd you get across? He asked the kid. Where'd you find a hook? I hopped, said the kid. Wise-ass kid. Hey, look out behind you! Cute, said Reynardo. Ah, ravens. It was time to talk some sense into the kid. Just hook his way across the ledge and chase the kid down. Thing was, he hadn't used his hook since he'd retired. He'd done it. Maybe if he meditated at that altar there, he'd remember his old skills.
Okay. 4 tiers of skills.
It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot, like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
Interesting.
And there was the Farfarer. She was the fastest ship he'd ever known. She could do the Kestra run in 12 furlongs. Oh, so the salesman had told him. And something told him the kid was about to walk into an ambush. "Stop!" he shouted. "I'm not giving you the book!" shouted the kid, and took off. "No! Peter!" But the kid ran for it, and a goggler nailed him with its eye-beam. The book was unburned. Next to it were the buckles from the kid's shoes, and a kid-sized pile of ashes. Damn it, why hadn't he lied and told the kid he'd take the book to the rebels? The kid would be alive now. Really pissed off and betrayed, but alive. Oh, damn it. Reynardo picked up the book. He couldn't let the Empire have it now. He was going to have to get it out of there. He'd be a wanted man. Probably have to join the rebellion just to have a place to dock. Well, he'd hated home life anyway.
Always got to break all the boxes.
What was the big deal about this book anyway? Maybe he should open it and find out. All that had been years ago. How many? The war was a blur, and now 3 Raven scout ships were chasing him. "Where are you running, rebel?" cawed the Raven captain over the loud hailer. Reynardo could see them cranking up their catapults. "Just going out for milk?" Reynardo yelled back. "Where can you run?" laughed the Raven horribly. Far behind him, another city was burning. The dark cloud above its island was thousands of Imperial ships. The fleet was doing a thorough job. "Take us to the rebel base! I will spare your life!" it called. The entire jury-rigged rebel fleet was only a few islands to the east. Beyond that were only the pillars of heaven, a sea of endless blood-colored tornadoes. The rebellion was out of time, unless Reynardo could bring a game-changer. Maybe he could. Reynardo had found out where he could find the pieces of the Sky Ripper, the legendary weapon that had exiled the lost gods. Surely a legendary weapon could win the final battle. On the other hand, his old friend Lupino had sent Reynardo a desperate message saying he had a brilliant scheme to save the rebellion. If Reynardo could only rescue him. Reynardo dived the Farfarer towards the abyss. as he felt the heat of the jet stream.
Oh, is this a
The Raven
choice?
ships peeled off, not stable enough to follow him down there. Now it was time to choose. Lapino or the Sky Ripper?
I don't know what to choose. Hi, Sora. I don't know what to choose. You can either build a weapon that could kill the gods, or go with my friend. Yeah. No. No, I would not say you are an asshole. I would say I am an asshole because I let a kid die in this game already. But I think it was a scripted event, so I couldn't do anything about it. Well, you have a point there. The kid was probably too old for that. He was about as tall as my character is. Should I help an old friend or build a weapon that was used to kill the gods? Okay.
Every child knew about the Sky Ripper. The Transcendent Emperor had buried its pieces. What could have brought them to light? This Emperor, Isengrim III, had once been kind, but he'd gone mad. And now he was conducting secret, obscene rituals to bring back the lost gods. Had he, somehow, summoned the long-lost components of the legendary weapon out of the deep places of the earth?
Depending on this choice, something else, like my old friend,
but if
might
he could
end up
find a
being
legendary
dead.
weapon, he would use it.
In a later part of the chapter, or something.
As he set foot on the island, Reynardo could not help but feel a tinge of guilt. He'd left Lapino behind. He hoped the Mad Rabbit had somehow escaped the Ravens. He hoped they hadn't eaten him. If they had, he hoped they hadn't eaten him alive. Why had he chosen the Sky Ripper?
Right now it's
Reynardo never
making
made
me feel
plans that
bad.
required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much. He just went with his gut and hoped it all worked out. The Sky Ripper was a long shot. He'd have to devote himself to it. No side journeys, no rescuing old friends. That was against his nature. Could he stick with it?
I guess we're doing it. We're going to just say forget all our friends. Sore though. Believe me, I'm a strong believer in chaotic evil, but when the announcer literally makes your choices seem like you did the wrong thing, that's what gets me in games. And oddly enough, this game was having some technical difficulties at the start.
It was good to practice your moves, thought Reynardo. Keeps you limber.
Gem socking. Up to 3 gems. These are on the gauntlet, apparently. I don't have any gems yet, but okay. That's good to know. I think there might be a gem in that box behind it. Not craft anything yet. That box is a part of it.
Who needed bridges anyway?
Okay, just a quick little chest. Alright.
Who are you looking at? Oh, right. No one.
Can you grab onto that? Okay.
The people who had built this castle, did they even know what monstrous weapon lay hidden within their walls?
Okay,
The
that
Sky
one-
Ripper could destroy anything it touched, or so the legend said. As the Transcendent Emperor had fought the Lost Gods, thousands had died. But Reynardo had been through wars. The only merciful war was a short one.
For that door, I needed the void.
Reynardo's blood was up. He just needed to smash something.
I think that one just needs my regular sword. Ooh, altars. Hey, you got a rowlet. Rowlets are nice. Needs an ice sword.
Hero Wall. Hero Sword. Ice Wall. Ice Cube.
Dang. Almost got perfect on that.
Reynardo was remembering all his old tricks and some new ones. He really ought to ask for a raise.
This makes me, the way the combat is, it makes me think of the Batman Arkham games, because you can make it to where you don't take any damage whatsoever. Oh, you got the Scolipede? Nice. The truth behind the Sky Ripper is shrouded in a thick fog. The most believable tale is that the Transcendent Emperor has used the Sky Ripper to banish Iblis, then the TE buried the weapon and vanished. Was it a self-imposed exile to rid the world of its last divine presence? Or was it the price to pay for using such a tremendous power? Could the Sky Ripper and Iblis have a deeper connection than just the weapon and victim? My rituals will summon the Iblis Stone. Perhaps I should worry that they will also cause the Sky Ripper to resurface. If that is the case, I should spare no resource to find it. A weapon that can banish a god is an invaluable bargaining chip. Should the old ones decide to double-cross me, it is in their nature to try. But gods are predictable, and I can rely on that to always be one step ahead. Emperor Isengrim the Third Secret Journal. What's it doing here? That's an ice wall. Can't get past that. Don't have an ice sword. That's a void wall. Don't have that. That's a lot of watchers.
Two eyes good. One eye dead.
I am not risking getting caught by one of these things. Because these are what burnt to the child that... Uh-oh. Okay. That's what killed the kid that, in the first part of the game. I guess that's just a hiding spot. If you don't want to kill
Can't we just agree to disagree? Said Renato. No?
I could have gotten a better combo on that. I'm hurting a little bit now.
Firewalls only let you through if they think you're hot enough.
Huh. That was easy. Like the ball. I kind of wish I had a dash, maybe? Just something to get around a little quicker. Oh.
It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot, like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
That's a really cool looking dash.
There it was. Skyripper's armature. The stuff that dreams are made of. Engineers' dreams, anyway. The device was intricate. No one alive had the skill to make a thing like it. How was it part of a weapon at all? He'd have to ask a scientist. But first, he'd get the second piece. Skyripper had a heart. A core that had come to rest on the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions. She must be encamped there still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one friend to get this armature, was it? He didn't need to hurry to face her. She would find him.
Gotta go all in for the Skyripper.
It was a no-brainer. He'd sacrificed his old friend Lapino to get the armature. And the armature was useless by itself, only a series of coils and wheels. War demanded sacrifices, and he would make more before the end. He would have to choose the greatest good no matter how much it cost him. Zenobia. Well, he would see her sooner or later, across a battlefield or a sword's point before all this was over. He was sure of that. The power was in the core. Obviously, he had to get the core. He looked up at the old trees around him. They were so big and so old. They'd been there before he was born, and they'd be there after he'd passed into legend. Was he confronting his own unimportance? What had got into him? He was no philosopher. Anyway, who cares? He was plenty important. He was a hero, and soon he'd prove it. I wonder what I could make with all these sword crafting materials, thought Reynardo.
Nothing yet. I don't have anything. There's a lot to run around in this map. Oh, no turning back now. Yes, there is.
This chest smelled kind of funky. He hoped he didn't get it in his clothes.
Jump down. Okay, jumping down. Oh, it's wind essence. I thought it was void. I mean, it makes the
There
void
was
blade.
something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time.
I'm getting chills.
Where did that go to? There were fewer and fewer trees. There were only these huge crystalline growths. Had those been here before? He no longer heard birds except for the feverish cawing of the ravens when they attacked. He couldn't smell the small animals of the forest, the mice and rabbits. Where had they gone? And he was getting hungry, too. This was an unhealthy place to be.
Sword foo.
He missed his old skills. He welcomed them back like he was at a reunion. For a moment,
Ah, 69.
that somebody had been watching.
Nice. That was it? There was nothing to explore.
The 20-sided core made him feel physically sick. Once he had sneaked into a temple of the dark arts, and he hadn't liked what he smelt and saw there. This felt like that. As quick as he could, he wrangled the icosahedron into the armature. The wheels began to spin, then glow. The sick feeling quickly spun away. Now he only felt sad. He had lost good friends for this war apparatus. He carried his prize back to the Farfarer. Now he had to make his next move. There was a key Imperial outpost on the Nexus. If this really was some sort of superweapon, he could use it to wreak havoc on the enemy. And if it wasn't, well, better to know that before the final battle. But maybe he should show it to some scientists first. There was an observatory on the Nexus. Maybe he should go there before he fired it.
Nah, we may as well just wreak havoc, get more
Reynardo
speed.
had never been much of a student. At Swordfu School, he'd never read the books, just looked at the pictures. And Zenobia. But weapons he understood. His gut told him that the Skyripper would work great. He would use it to take out the Imperial outpost. And what's the worst that could happen? The thing wouldn't work, and then he'd take it to the scientists. Right? Exactly. As he set out down the path, Reynardo wondered why the parts of the Skyripper had only surfaced now, thousands of years after the Transcendent Emperor had discarded it. This Emperor, Isengrim III, had performed terrible, bloodthirsty rituals to invoke the lost gods. Perhaps that was bringing up lost artifacts. How perfect, then, that the Skyripper would reappear to be his destruction. Boom! He felt like Tarzan.
Give me more ore. Oh, there's one. Oh, how did I miss that one? That was bad damage.
He was tired of slaughtering ravens. Maybe it was time to test out the new weapon. He turned a knob on the Sky Ripper. It made strange, mechanical noises. The wheels spun faster. It began to hum. The Sky Ripper was following his every step. At least it acknowledged him as the master. But there was no trigger. How was he supposed to fire it? Fire, he said. Nothing happened. Well, maybe it just needed to warm up. After all, it hadn't been fired in thousands of years.
Well, I guess I'm not going to see what was back there. I must have missed a chest already.
A very
there's
clever
one down there,
engineer
too.
named Elon Muskrat got his start making floating
Elon
platforms.
Muskrat,
Not many
okay.
people knew that.
I could upgrade that, or I can make the fire one. Can't make the water one.
This burning sword from the south was terrific for barbecuing sausages and ravens.
That's a big chest. I want it.
Sky Ripper was making a whining noise now, and its wheels were spinning so fast he could no longer see them. Reynardo had a thought. "Please?" he asked. The Sky Ripper began to glow. Boom! The outpost burst into flame. Ravens flapped out screaming, wings on fire. The base was his. The far-speaker toad came hopping out. "Reynardo!" it croaked, sounding like a toad version of Zenobia.
Don't use the Sky Ripper. It will destroy the world.
"Yeah, sure it will," cracked Reynardo. "Pull the other one."
If you don't trust me, go see Calaveras.
That sounded sensible. Why did she always have to sound sensible all the time? Oh, it was infuriating. Of course she would say that. He was supposed to hurry and bring the Sky Ripper to the council so the rebels could actually win the war. But what if she was right? Damn it.
I've been going to the bottom floor
Just
6
this
times,
once,
so...
he would not let Zenobia get into his head with her logic and her wisdom and her appeals to reason. He was a fox. He'd go with his instincts, and it would all work out like it always did. Oh, he was sounding like a reckless idiot, even to himself. But if there was one thing Reynardo could never bring himself to do, it was turn back on a decision he'd made. Imperials were flapping and cawing all around the ruins. They must be panicking with rumors flying of the superweapon. Maybe they hoped to find and destroy the base before he could put the Sky Ripper into action. The Sky Ripper was whining and heating up. It would be time to use that energy soon. Reynardo felt like he was ready to learn new things. Thank goodness he didn't have to go to school for that.
That's a pathway forward. From the looks of it. Maybe. I'm going it.
There was an inscription. Praise the sun.
Eh! Oh, you know what? Sure. Cool.
Hey, is that a word for a lot of ravens? Like a doofus of ravens? Once you try it, you're hooked. What's there?
Big chest. nice. I can't go back, can I? No.
What was Zenobia talking about? This was a fantastic weapon. Ravens burst into flames with just a touch of its killer beam. He was tempted to leave it on all the time, but he didn't want to accidentally slice off some council toad's head or tongue. She'd been trying to distract him. Well, this time, no one was going to distract him. Huh? A lever? That was new. Most people still use doorknobs. Hey, how do you tell if someone's far away or just really small?
Ow.
Long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
That was awesome!
The blue sword, so it can't go through there. Ooh, secret passage.
As he headed towards the council chamber, Renato felt everyone watching him. "You've saved the rebellion," said the council speaker. "Frankly, we were afraid you'd turn aside to save that idiot Lapino." "If you never make sacrifices," he said, "you're probably not doing the right thing." The speaker nodded. "Are you ready to lead the charge?" "Let's roll," he said, with grim satisfaction. Renato set sail for the fleet. The Sky Ripper had lost its wine. It was humming now, as if it had taken some time to seat properly. He had always been irresponsible. This time, he'd done the right thing, made the hard decisions. He was a real hero. He hadn't let himself be distracted by old friends or old lovers turned enemies. Finally, he could be proud of himself. He was ready. So was Sky Ripper. The Sky Ripper had a will of its own. It picked out its own targets and set them on fire. This was going to be a short battle. He would set the ships on fire if he didn't need them to get to the Emperor. And he wondered if he'd see Zenobia, or if she'd flee. Wouldn't she be proud of him? At least, a bit of respect? He'd become an all-conquering hero.
Go get more
This
speed.
was way better than being able to shrink down to the size of an ant. What was that all about, anyway?
That looks like it's gonna be a boss.
Well, they really needed to redecorate anyway.
What those do?
Boy, with this device you could travel at night, so long as there were ravens to set on fire. Whee!
I think I did. The energy is shared between all the swords. Oh, I wasn't looking.
There was a parchment on a signpost. It was from her. Every time you fire, you risk the destruction of the universe. That's insane. We surrender. A trick? Maybe she really believed it. He could hear horns blaring the retreat. Maybe it was true. Maybe they had one.
Welcome to Earth. Renato told me corpses. It was something he'd seen in a play once.
thought.
Thought I seen him on the main deck there. I might not have.
Reynardo wondered what would happen if he jumped. Would he be rescued by an emergency platform? And there was Zenobia, wearing the white robes of surrender. She came and kneeled before him. Why didn't you listen to me? I was trying to save you too. You're the enemy, he said. I was never your enemy, Reynardo. Then she spoke a terrible word and made a gesture with her hand. She stopped moving, covered in frost, and he wondered why she'd frozen herself. Then the Sky Ripper froze, and then, for a moment, he felt very cold and discovered that he couldn't move. The next thing he knew, the sun was a giant, monstrously red. It took up half the sky, and he was in a parched red desert. And then he was on fire. Okay, that was weird. He could have sworn he just died. Instead, he was on the Farfarer, sailing away from Ubar. And it was still burning. He'd fled burning Ubar years ago, hadn't he? And now he was back there. Had all those years fighting the Empire been nothing but a vision into the future? A useful vision if it was true. He'd learned something. Zenobia still had feelings for him.
There's how many endings?
He'd made bad choices. But now, when the real battle came, he wouldn't make those choices. He wouldn't make the same mistake twice. The book's pages began to flip backwards, towards the beginning. And he realized that his adventure was just beginning. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis Stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Reynardo. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing.
I think I should save
Lapino
the
was no
old friend.
game changer, but Could Reynardo really leave an old friend to the Ravens? Ah, Lapino. Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own. Lapino always wiggled out of trouble, given time. But he was out of time. The Ravens had figured out that Lapino was a rebel spy. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse. Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens?
Once, he'd found a Superman issue #1 in mint condition in a jar he'd broken. He planned to keep breaking things until he had the whole series.
These platforms were great. Reynardo wanted one for his house. People were frightened these days. Just 2 weeks past, Reynardo had sneaked through an empty town and listened to the Ravens caw about the Emperor's new taste in ritual sacrifice. The village looked so peaceful. Were the villagers hiding somewhere? Of course not. No matter how much he searched, he would only find ravens here. That was always a rush.
I do like my crypt builds. What? Yes? Well, I'm a little busy at the moment.
Cool. Wish I could do that.
What? What? Not the arrow to click on it. You need to have the pointing finger, Mother. What?
In this chest, there were woodcuts of amazingly beautiful vixens wearing no clothes at all. And something more useful.
here. Ravens were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lapino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lapino. Where had the mad rabbit got to?
That's a lot of war. I think I can make the water sword now.
And this is why heroes are called dashing, Renato thought. See? Dashing? Get it?
That hurt.
That went poorly.
Renato felt a chill run down his back. Or possibly a flea.
Don't have that kind of sword.
Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the cards. It was Lapino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, see, this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia. We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who happened to also be a deadly sorcerer, and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. And it would be nice to see her. He'd always had a soft spot for her. And he felt sure she had one for him. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power. Zenobia wasn't just the Emperor's daughter, of course. She'd been Renato's best friend in Sword Fu school. And you're still mad for her, the rabbit reminded him. The rabbit had a point, and Renato had a feeling she'd want to see him again. Who knows what could happen between the two of them this time around? She knows all his plans, chuckled the master spy. She won't give them up easily. She'll tell the interrogators, all right, said Lapino, taking her would change the game, all right. The city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty.
Oh, I probably missed something. Are you gonna let me go back up? Nope.
That is how we do it, said Renato to himself. These things could really use a hand. So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renato hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renato.
Sure.
Oh, this is going to be fun, said Lupino as he ran to go set up his marvelous plan. Hey! Hey, a workbench! He could try out his new bling. He wasn't that good. Yet. Renato felt dubious about the whole plan. With every step, he was waiting for it all to go horribly wrong. But against all odds, Lupino's idiotic plan worked. Zenobia's ravens ran off after the geese, the net dropped, and Renato jumped out of the watermelon and put his sword to Zenobia's throat. Renato, she said, are those new scars? They look good on you. You never returned my velvet jacket. It was my favorite. You look stupid in velvet. Ah, what does an imperial princess know about style?
Ah, get a room, you two, said Lupino, probably sensing the chemistry.
But the fleet was coming on fast, so they took Zenobia east, over the Nexus. She'd vanished from Swordfu School, from his life, without even saying goodbye, without ever telling him she was the Emperor's adopted daughter.
Reynardo was aware of her feelings. Maybe this was a bad idea, but was he letting his own feelings get the better of him? Listen, said Reynardo. Let's not do this. Let's not do what? Asked Zenobia. Look, you're the Emperor's right hand. You are going to have me interrogated, he said. Sure, yeah, but then I remembered how you feel about me. How I feel about you? You were going to have me interrogated, but I didn't, because you care about me, said Reynardo. Well, guess again, Buster, she said, and she pushed him off his own boat. As he plummeted towards the bottomless clouds of the abyss, Reynardo decided that he'd not really handle the situation with his usual finesse. He had tried something bold and paid the price for it.
That's not what I was expecting.
The city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Reynardo shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty.
It started over. Okay.
Guns beautifully. Where was a bard when you needed one? Reynardo hated gogglers, but it freaked him out to cut them. So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Reynardo hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Reynardo.
We'll try it again.
Oh, this is going to be fun, said Lupino, as he ran to go set up his marvelous plan. People had laughed at the government workbench placement program, but you could see the benefits everywhere. Renato felt dubious about the whole plan. With every step, he was waiting for it all to go horribly wrong. But against all odds, Peppino's idiotic plan worked. Zenobia's ravens ran off after the geese, the net dropped, and Renato jumped out of the watermelon and put his sword to Zenobia's throat. "Renato," she said, "are those new scars? They look good on you. You never returned my velvet jacket. It was my favorite. You look stupid in velvet. Ah, what does an imperial princess know about style? Ah, get a room, you two," said Lupino, probably sensing the chemistry. But the fleet was coming on fast, so they took Zenobia east, over the Nexus. She'd vanished from Swordfu School, from his life, without even saying goodbye. Without ever telling him she was the Emperor's adopted daughter. Renato was aware of her feelings. Maybe this was a bad idea, but was he letting his own feelings get the better of him? Ah, Lupino was right, Renato thought reluctantly. She knows things. She recognized his look. "You're taking me to the interrogators, aren't you?" she said, wide-eyed. And then she jumped, with horror. Renato saw Zenobia plummeting. Then he saw the Nexus below them. Cats always land on their feet. "Ah, she'll head for the Imperial outpost," yelled Lupino. "You have to catch her." Cats can run faster, but foxes can run longer. If he ran, he could head her off before she reached her minions at the outpost. Well, he did love a good chase. Renato wondered if his future self had commissioned these poles. Coming back to him. He wondered what he'd remember next.
Hold neighbor.
He was closing on her. He could smell her fear. He tried not to think about the interrogators at the secret base. What did they do to her? Maybe it didn't have to end that way. Maybe he could talk to her. But, after all, there were worse things the Imperials had done to friends of his. It did not matter how outnumbered the rebellion was. The secret Zenobia held could level the playing
Hope
field.
you're having a nice day so far.
Codes.
This game has been messing with my
Password.
brain.
She could wreak havoc with just a few whispers to a far speaker. If I craft a sword now, it's going to be really short.
I want to find a way to get over there. I don't know how.
Bernardo reached the outpost. The Imperials there were no match for him. Soon after, Zenobia limped up the path.
What?
When she realized he was already in front of her, she didn't even try to run. Oh, you left without saying goodbye. Again, he said, "Please, I'm enjoying this a little too much," she said, shaken. "Oh, spare us the chit-chat, would you?" said Lapino as he shackled her hands so she couldn't throw spells. She knows all his plans. All the way back to the Farfarer, Lapino nagged Reynardo about how the interrogators would pry all the intel out of Zenobia. How that would turn the tides in the imminent battle. All they had to do was take her to the rebels' secret base. Reynardo didn't like to think about what the interrogators would do to her. Couldn't he just talk to her? As they pulled away from the Nexus, Reynardo could see the fear in Zenobia's eyes. "I can't take her to those creatures at the base," he whispered to Lapino. "Ah, you've gone soft. Soft in the head. We captured her for what she knows. I'll take her to the mountains. Tell all the horrible things the Emperor's done. Yeah, believe me, she'll turn." And he turned the wheel. "The hell you will!" shouted Lapino, and he grabbed the wheel back from him. The two of them wrestled for control of the ship. It shot off like a mad sparrow. Suddenly, Reynardo was falling.
Did I die again?
When he came to, Zenobia was standing over him. "Why didn't you take me to the base to be interrogated?" she demanded. "Do you know what's left of people they interrogate? This is some trick, isn't it? To make me fall for you again. Well, I won't. Oh, go on then. Scurry back to your ravens. I can't stop you." But strangely, she didn't. As Reynardo set off to find the Farfarer, she followed him, keeping just out of sight of the ravens.
But she's not moving.
He was sort of yanking his own chain, wasn't he? If they didn't want their things broken, they really ought to make them stronger.
Making sure there's nothing else here.
That is a very cool sword, thought Reynardo. No, seriously. He couldn't feel his paw anymore. did you do if one of these platforms stalled? As Renato stopped to sniff the wind, Zenobia came up, still mad. Did you really think you'd just talk me into betraying my father? Oh yeah, sure, that was exactly my plan. Then why aren't you even talking to me? Because I've never talked you into anything in my life. They're gonna court-martial you for letting me go. He caught a whiff of the Farfarer. Wet rope, tar, and a cask of Scobel ale he'd spilt last year. It was that way.
Okay, bye. Makes me think of Crash Bandicoot with these.
Renato wondered if he should have taken Zenobia to the rebel base for real. Maybe she wasn't playing him after all. After the bleak talk about the Emperor's dark secrets, he was regretting his suspicion. If only he had some way to break the ice. Or convince it he was a friend.
Oh, right there was my ship. Dear Zenobia, do you remember the expedition I have set to the depths beneath the islands? They have returned. Well, 3 ships have returned out of the 8 I sent. Of course, I mourn the losses, but the knowledge the survivors brought back is invaluable. What they have experienced is incredible. The air gradually grows denser and more turbulent until it becomes a suffocating, bone-crushing thunderstorm. But the islands keep stretching for miles below the surface, and they have roots that radiate downward far below sight, or beyond sight. The islands are alive. This is the proof I was looking for. The thick air of the depths keep them afloat, and in the depths they find their sustenance. Do they have a conscience? Are they aware of our existence? Or are we merely parasites that they ignore or tolerate? I must prepare another expedition. This time I will go myself. I need to see the wondrous world of the endless deep sky. I hope you will visit me before I leave. I would like to hear more about that new friend of yours, Reynardo. With love, Father.
As for the gate, well, you could take her or leave her. Sorry, it's the best I could do.
I couldn't do anything about that.
Who are these guys? They seem to make everyone else harder to kill.
Enchanters. Got it. Damn. Go ahead and heal up a bit then. Or not. Already read it. Why didn't it knock off the shield?
Renato had been in boat crashes that were more fun.
Ooh. Better have some good gems in them. Okay, that is a good one. That's also a good one.
Sure enough, the Farfarer had crashed in some rocks. There was no sign of Lupino. Zenobia caught up. All that kid stuff in Swordfu School. Look, look, that's the past. We're adults now. We have duties to other people. We have destinies. What are you talking about? And you are the most arrogant, slow-witted, light-fingered, mercenary, immoral, reckless. Run away with me, said Renato, and he realized he meant it. What? Just like that? She demanded. I will, if you will. So she kissed him. And it was the best kiss he'd ever had. They held hands as they boarded the Farfarer. Renato felt light-hearted, like the winds that were playing the rigging like a balalaika. But Lupino, I need to get back to Lupino, he said, suddenly realizing he could have been captured. A prisoner. He's not. How'd you know? He saw something in her eyes he didn't understand. He fell, didn't he? Into the abyss. She looked away, wouldn't answer. But then a bolt smashed through the Farfarer's keel. The broken ship plummeted out of the clouds. Renato picked himself off the deck. They were alive. We have to get to my private ship, she said. Do you trust me? I guess I must, he said. You go on ahead. Clear the path, she said. I can't kill my own soldiers. He wanted to say that he didn't trust her, that he had no idea what he was getting into. But he had no choice, did he? He was following his heart. That's what it means to be a hero. You had to follow your heart.
I got enough essence, so just need to get more.
Reynardo knew the raw power he had gained could be molded into greatness. Reynardo hoped his portal had been inspected recently. Reynardo had been the terror of the sandcastles when he was 2.
Still don't know what those do.
He smelled burned fur. Hissed.
Still don't have that.
Don't look down, he thought. It was a bit windy up here.
A bit. Only a bit. That. There may not be a bug.
They paused to catch their breath. It was strange to be so close to her. What are you thinking? He asked. I'm trying very hard not to think. Me too, he said. Up ahead, he could see the thin silver of Zenobia's personal ship. It looked fast. They would leave all this behind.
stuck there for a second.
If you get this right, the Imperial army will run out of ravens.
It's definitely something I can go to. I just don't know how to go to it. That was weird.
As they reached her ship, Renato suddenly felt a sharp pain in his stomach. He was surprised to see a crossbow bolt sticking out of it. "I was going to lead the Empire to our secret base," said Lapino. "But no, you had to screw up my plan because you've still got a thing for her." Renato stared at Zenobia. The kiss. Was it real? She said, with a look of indescribable sorrow. She gestured and said an arcane word, and Lapino went flying into the abyss, screaming, "I'm telling your father!" Then she knelt down to cradle his head, and her paws felt very soft and warm. Renato stared at the book. He was still alive. Again. And still only flying away from burning Ubar. Had he lived that adventure? Or only dreamt it? Had he really died? It felt so real, not like a dream at all. And he'd lost again. Oh, he hated that. But he had made different choices. And he'd lost in a different way. It was the book, wasn't it? Oracles showed you your destiny. But this was showing him different ways he could die miserably. Thanks a bunch, book, he thought. But these were destinies that he did not have to fulfill. But he'd learned another true thing. Lapino was a traitor. Renato had suspected there was something wrong with the Mad Rabbit. But now he knew there was malice behind his goofiness.
Well then.
But that meant there must be a destiny where he survived and won, right? Otherwise, what was the point? And with that, the book's pages fluttered back once more to the beginning, and the clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced, or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert.
The Emperor had brought the Skyripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis Stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Reynardo. And also, his old friend Lupino needed rescuing. Of course, Reynardo had a pretty strong suspicion that Lupino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Reynardo really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Yes. I'm going to take a little break. Continue this either later today or tomorrow. So far, I'm enjoying it. It's a lot better than I thought it'd be. We're going to raid a friend of mine real quick for while I'm going offline. Thank you to everyone who turned into the stream. It's much appreciated. Let's see, we're going to raid this person. Is it /raid? So I'll be back on probably later to play more of this. Right now I'm just kind of hungry, so I'm going to go get something to eat and take a little break. See y'all in a little while.